Okay, there's something wrong with this person. She's also known as the star of Snow White.
During an after-strike rehearsal, boom, it happened. She didn't scream. She didn't throw anything, witnesses say.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig.
But she spit, and that single moment flipped the whole vibe on set. Push.
Girl power, girl boss. Everyone needs to be a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. And everybody is tired of that. Everybody is sick of that. And everybody is ganging up on Rachel. She dealt with some really, really severe backlash, which I can kind of understand. But me personally, I'm not under the impression that she wasn't maybe coached to make this happen, to create some type of a draw for the movie. Because this is the narrative that Disney particularly is trying to push.
Tensions had been brewing hard. The Evita set was already buzzing with whispers about Rachel Zegler's wild behavior, tantrums, shouting matches, tears behind closed doors, but no one saw this coming. During a chaotic rehearsal that was already crumbling, Rachel allegedly launched into a full-blown screaming fight with a fellow cast member. And then, right there in front of a stunned room, she reportedly leaned in and spit in their direction. It didn't even matter if it hit them. It didn't even matter if it was just a heated outburst. That move crossed a line you just don't cross in Hollywood. One backstage witness said, "It was like watching someone snap in real time. Everyone froze." Another witness said they thought it was some kind of twisted joke until security showed up. By the time Rachel stormed out, her co-star was left visibly shaken. And just like that, the whispers turned into headlines, a scandal the whole industry couldn't ignore. Rachel reportedly told people, "I don't need your business. Thanks." But how did it get this bad? What drove Rachel from rising star to public meltdown? And is this the final nail in the coffin of her Hollywood career? Because the second she allegedly spat, her comeback may have gone up in smoke. If you're ready, send me the next chunk. It wasn't always like this. Not long ago, Rachel Zegler was Hollywood's it girl, handpicked by Steven Spielberg himself to star in West Side Story, hyped by the press, and fast-tracked into the Disney machine to play none other than Snow White. She was young, talented, outspoken, a fresh face for a whole new generation. But with big success comes an even bigger spotlight. And Rachel didn't just step into it, she jumped right in. Then, bam! Almost overnight, everything flipped. Her interviews started going viral, but for all the wrong reasons. Offhand comments about the original Snow White being outdated, weird, and full of archaic values lit the internet on fire. Suddenly, fans weren't seeing a bold, modern princess. They saw someone mocking the very legacy she was hired to honor. And Disney? They were watching this PR disaster unfold in real time. When the Snow White remake bombed in test screenings and public backlash caught like wildfire, Disney started pulling away. Fast. Marketing slowed down, release dates shifted, and then, boom! The film mysteriously vanished from Disney Plus before it could even hit the platform. Fans screamed cover-up. Insiders whispered corporate panic. And Rachel? She called it all a misunderstanding, then quietly deleted the post. Suddenly, the girl who once looked like the future of Disney couldn't even land a full release window. And that's when the whispers started. Was Rachel Zegler turning into a liability? Enter Evita. It was supposed to be her big redemption arc, a shot at proving she could still deliver. A live theater role, a chance to show she could still headline, still lead. But what went down in those rehearsals? It made the Snow White drama look like a warm-up. Because Evita didn't just fall apart, it straight up imploded. And word is, Rachel may have lit that match herself. The whispers? They started early, way before full rehearsals had even kicked off. The Evita cast and crew were already on edge. Folks who'd worked with Rachel before were quietly warning others. She could be difficult, emotional, controlling, always in performance mode, even offstage. At first, the production team shrugged it off. Every star's got their quirks, right? But then came the mood swings. Cast members said rehearsals felt like an absolute roller coaster. One minute, Rachel was glowing, joking, singing, fully locked into character. The next, storming off stage, snapping at co-stars, accusing the ensemble of undermining her presence. One insider even claimed she would straight up interrupt choreography sessions mid-run just to critique other performers' movements, even when the scene wasn't about her. Another insider dropped a bomb. They claimed Rachel screamed at a castmate for taking attention away during a duet. And from there, the whole vibe on set went downhill, fast. The cast started taking longer breaks. Eye contact faded, rehearsals dragged, and soon people were straight up avoiding her completely. One backstage worker even overheard a mic'd cast member mutter, "I just want to get through this without crying today." And not everyone stayed quiet. One dancer reportedly walked off mid-scene saying, "I can't do this if she keeps making it about herself." It wasn't just ego anymore. It was pure chaos. And the more the pressure built, the tighter Rachel tried to grip the production. She allegedly started demanding script changes, rewriting lines she felt didn't match her vision of Eva Peron. Some claim she even accused the director of not understanding the character, after he calmly asked her to stick to the blocking. The tension in the room? Off the charts. One assistant stage manager who'd worked on dozens of major productions reportedly told friends, "This is one of the most toxic rehearsal rooms I've ever seen." But trust this, none of that compared to what came next. Because one confrontation was about to push everything and everyone way too far. It would leave the cast stunned, security scrambling, and Rachel Zegler's entire reputation dangling by a thread. It started like any other chaotic rehearsal, delayed, tense, and barely holding itself together. But what happened next? No one saw it coming. According to multiple anonymous insiders, this was the moment everything truly went off the rails. Rachel Zegler was mid-rehearsal, working through a heated monologue. The director asked for one more take, but instead of giving notes to Rachel, he reportedly gave feedback to another actor in the scene, and that's when it happened. Snap! Witnesses say her whole demeanor shifted in an instant. Her body stiffened, her jaw clenched, and without any warning, she turned toward the co-star who had just been praised and launched into a tirade. "You're not playing the truth," she allegedly shouted. "You're making me look weak." The room froze. Everyone thought maybe it would end there. But it didn't. The argument kept escalating. Voices got louder. The director tried to jump in. Other cast members looked away, trying not to get dragged into the chaos. And then, during a brief pause, it happened. One moment sent absolute shockwaves through the room. Rachel allegedly spit in the direction of her co-star, and this wasn't some joke or staged move. In the words of one backstage tech, a full spit, like she didn't care who saw. The co-star recoiled immediately. Someone shouted, "Did she just spit on him?" Another voice yelled, "Get security!" The room erupted. The assistant stage manager reportedly ran onto the floor. Several cast members backed away. Some even left the room completely. A security team member, who had already been stationed nearby because of past outbursts, was now rushing in, and the chaos was just beginning. Security stepped in and escorted Rachel straight out of the rehearsal hall. One crew member later said, "That wasn't a diva moment. That was a full-on breakdown. She completely lost control." Another insider claimed the co-star involved was visibly shaking, not even because of the spit, but because the outburst had felt so aggressive and personal. And within 1 hour, word had spread through the entire production like wildfire. Phones were blowing up, DMs were flying, and by that same evening, rumors were already flooding industry forums. One anonymous post simply read, "Zegler spit on someone. It's over." Whether it was intentional or just a raw emotional outburst, that single act became symbolic. This wasn't just another meltdown. It was the moment Rachel Zegler physically crossed a line, in front of the very people she needed to win back. And the fallout? Immediate, brutal. The rehearsal ended, but the damage didn't. Within minutes of the alleged spitting incident, the production team called an emergency closed-door meeting. One insider described the vibe in that room as straight-up panic level. No one knew exactly what to do, but everyone agreed something had to be done. Several cast members reportedly refused to return to rehearsal if Rachel was still involved. One ensemble performer allegedly said, "If that's not grounds for removal, what is?" Another performer claimed they had never felt so unsafe in a professional setting. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, producers were scrambling. Firing their lead mid-rehearsal period would trigger a PR disaster, but keeping her could spark a full-on mutiny. According to a leaked email, the production was evaluating internal options for a pause. And many took that as a veiled hint that they were getting ready to shut it all down. Some cast members straight up threatened to walk. Others quietly packed their bags and left early, without giving notice. And by the next morning, the hashtag number Evita Meltdown was already trending on niche Broadway forums and Reddit gossip threads. Fan accounts went wild with speculation. Was she fired? Was she suspended? Was the show dead? No one had official answers, but one thing was crystal clear. Rachel had now become the problem. No more ignoring it. One industry source put it bluntly, "She's not the star anymore, she's the liability." Then things got even messier. A rumored casting call popped up online, searching for a last-minute lead with strong vocals and emotional maturity. It disappeared within hours, but the message, loud and clear. The team was prepping for a backup plan, and even if Rachel somehow stayed, the respect was gone. One tech crew member summed it up. The atmosphere shifted permanently. She walked in the next day like nothing had happened. But no one looked her in the eye. Not one. The production hadn't shut down yet, but morale had hit absolute rock bottom. Crew members were whispering about lawyers. Dancers stopped warming up anywhere near her. Everyone was just waiting for her to quit, waiting for the producers to pull the plug, waiting for someone, anyone, to finally say what they were all thinking. This cannot go on. But instead of a formal statement, Rachel gave them something else. A cryptic Instagram story. Silence. That was Rachel's first move. No apology, no denial, no public comment. Just straight-up radio silence. And in the world of celebrity scandals, silence screams. Her management team reportedly went into full lockdown mode. Emails ignored, press requests ghosted, and for days, fans refreshed her socials, desperate for even a single word. Nothing came. until suddenly, without warning, a post appeared. It was an Instagram story. One blurry close-up selfie, Rachel's eyes red, her face partially turned away, and one single word scribbled in white font at the bottom. Everyone has a breaking point. And that was it. No context, no apology, just a vague, emotionally charged statement that sent the internet into a full-on frenzy. Was it a confession? A justification? A cry for help? Theories exploded online. Some fans saw it as raw vulnerability. Others called it out as straight-up manipulation, playing the victim in a mess she allegedly created. One viral tweet said it best, "She spit on someone, and now we're supposed to feel bad for her?" Another fan clapped back, "That's not accountability. That's PR damage disguised as poetry." Even worse, her silence gave others the chance to spin the narrative. The alleged victim never spoke publicly, but third-hand stories flooded TikTok and Reddit. Unverified DMs, anonymous tips, grainy rehearsal footage plastered with dramatic captions. And with every passing day, the scandal just grew bigger. Want to stay on top of this wild story and more celebrity drama? Smash that subscribe button now. You won't want to miss what's coming next.